So, welcome everyone, and just to let you know, today's session has got two parts to it. We will go into a more practical session using Chat GPT, Word, and then PowerPoint to create a presentation with a speech ready to deliver. Improving your public speaking skills as a transformation change agent with AI is our key focus. As we all have heard the word AI has become not just a buzzword, but it's a transformational a transformational approach or revolutionary technology that's going to change everything we do. I mean, everything we do. When you have to deal with those in the research field of Philips, they're using AI to help solve a lot of medical illnesses. But let's bring it much closer to us, who are change agents working on transformation projects. AI can enable us do things faster. So our session would cover how we would apply AI for our public speaking. My name, William Kosina, and I've been involved in a lot of teachings and coaching of students. So our session, leveraging AI in public speaking. Our previous session was all around understanding what public speaking is and how we can bring AI into the fore. Today's session is just leveraging AI in public speaking. We'll look at the role of AI in public speaking. We'll utilize AI-powered presentation design and enhancement tools, which is Chat GPT, Word, and PowerPoint. And then we'll have a quick summary. But let's take a look at some myths and truths about AI. If I pick a card and you think it's a myth, I would like you to type it in the chat room and say it's a myth. And if you think it's a truth, please type it in the chat room. It will help us be more engaged in the whole process. So AI will take over all public speaking roles. Is that a myth or a truth? AI will enable us, number two, AI will enable us to carry out faster research for speeches. Is that a myth or a truth? That's a truth. Okay. AI will deliver all keynote speeches. I'm sure. What would you say, folks? Is there a myth or a truth? Truth. All keynote speeches. Okay. I agree it's a myth. AI will make all speeches human and motivational because AI understands us with so much data. Myth or truth? I can see that's a myth. AI can help us collate and organize ideas for speeches. Truth? Okay, truth. And AI will make people be less interested in listening to speeches. The last one, myth. Of course, all of your answers are right. Myths. AI will take over all public speaking roles. That's absolutely a myth. Though we can have robots of various bots delivering speeches, they definitely can't take over most public speaking roles. We still need that human engagement. But there was a video I saw yesterday of a performance review being conducted by an AI for an employee, and I was worried about that. So we are getting nearer to a point where we would have that collaboration with a lot of the robots and AI bots. There will be a co-pilot. They will be working with us much closely throughout the whole process. Of course, AI will not deliver all keynote speeches. We still need a human experience and people who've done things remarkable, and people who have led teams, people who have supported teams, and people who've got that story to tell. So AI cannot replace all keynote speeches. AI will not make all speeches human and motivational. They can bring the human element talking about someone else's life, but they can make it as human and motivational when it's being shared by a human. And AI will make people less interested in listening to speeches because they were all written by robots. No, that's an absolute myth. Truth, AI will enable us carry out faster research. Absolutely. AI can help us collate and organize ideas for speeches. AI can give us feedback on our speech preparation, and AI can also support us throughout the process. So let's take a look at our journey to preparing a great speech. Every speech, we can follow the 6 steps. Some people will have a more extended approach to this particular 6 steps, but more than often, these 6 steps are helpful in enabling us create a well crafted speech that would engage our audience. One and always, what is the purpose and the audience? Whom am I engaging? Who is going to listen to me and who is going to benefit from this speech? What is the action they are going to take after listening to this speech? Can they have a commitment? Can they take an action? And at the end, will they be responsible for their commitment for that particular set of actions they've committed themselves to do? Then next, can I conduct an extensive research to make the speech more engaging and bring my audience into the speech? It's so important that when you conducting your research with design thinking in mind, always think about your customer, think about your audience. So how can this speech benefit my audience? What's going to change in their lives? What's going to be better? If you can think about that, then you have something to do about your speech. Once you've done your extensive research, you could use Google Bard, you could use Chat GPT, you could go online and look at various platforms, and especially you could also check on various consulting websites to see similar articles. Libraries are still a good place. AI will not replace libraries, but libraries could be using more AI to help with organizing their books. Conducting the research requires some time. When you conduct an effective research, it can enable you get a better speech out. I was spending some time listening to various speakers, and most of them say for a single speech or a presentation to be really good, they spend not less than 4 hours. Similar to me, I'll say I usually try to block as much as 5 to 6 hours. So when I create a presentation, I create a speech, there's been some thought process put into it. When I do it in a rush, bring some things together and put it on the table, I do find myself not doing it very well. So setting aside 4 to 6 hours or 8 hours to craft a great speech would mean that you've set up some time to get the speech organized. Once you've crafted, developed the structure for the speech, you need to find a story. I remember going into public speaking many years ago, and I'll say for the first session that I attended, that was in Canary Wharf. It was a very beautiful evening, somewhere around the summer, and when I got to the venue at KPMG, everyone was very warm, welcoming, and I could see myself being a part of this whole event. When they introduced the whole process and they got onto the agenda, I became petrified because there was something called table topics. And that day I was praying and hoping that I wouldn't be called to deliver a table topic speech. But lo and behold, the Toastmaster or the MC of the day started looking directly at me, and I was worried. So what do I do? Do I look away or do I keep an eye on him? So I know if I keep an eye on him, he will look elsewhere. So I then confidently fixed my eye back on him so that he would look elsewhere. He did not look anywhere, but he called someone, and I felt I'd been left off. In the next table topic, he called me, and there I was. I had to stand up and come to the front and present a table topic. For me, that was the beginning of getting into understanding how Toastmasters work and being able to be a part of it. I came out sweating, worried that the few words I had to say didn't really meet the question. But everyone said, "Oh, well done." And this is the start of your journey. Find a story that meets the situation, craft it in, and it could always have that most important cliche sentence: once upon a time. Something starts somewhere, is set in a setting, and people get involved into that particular speech. It will have a protagonist, antagonist, and to have different contexts to make that story rich. Always think about your story. Then outline and write your speech. Once you write the speech, it's always recommended that put it down, come back to it, review it, and then redraft it. So step number 5 is so important. Refine, edit, refine, review, edit, refine, review, edit to get your speech to where you want it to be. So it's a daunting exercise to get to that point. Then you need to practice, practice, practice. There's an enabler in these stages. In step 2, 3, 4, you could now be working with a few AI tools to enable you get those steps done in a much shorter than the longer times we spend going to look into different archives just to get the information we want. Chat GPT serves as a good tool to help you in organizing your research for a very great speech. So these are the 6 steps to crafting a speech. We'll look at how we can use Chat GPT to get one done and then put it in Word, put it in slide deck, and then move it onto PowerPoint. So what do we do next? Let's take a look at some of the AI tools that are enabling or serving as a catalyst for the entire process. So for content generation, AI can assist us in generating content for speeches. We also have transcription and summarizing. We've got tools that can enable us with transcribing the things we want to share as speeches. So for some people that I know, they say, "William, when I want to write a speech, I come into the zone, spend some time reading and thinking, then I try to say the speech. I'll keep on saying it, reciting it, then it will be transcribed. I'll review it, or they'll record it, review it, now put it in text, and then start moving words around to make it a strong speech." So the transcription process is also a good way of getting yourself a good speech. We've got AI powered language tools that can help us enhance our speeches, and I've got examples for those. The most popular one we all know is Grammarly. Grammarly has been a helpful tool helping students, and it can also help you enhance your speeches. For speech analysis, we've got various tools that can look at the speech and tell you, are you using a lot of ums, or do you sound less clear in certain parts of your speech? Those can help you in preparing for that particular speech. It will help you get the clarity and the right choice of your words. We've also got virtual speech coaches. I'll use an example of a virtual speech coach that is in PowerPoint, and that can provide you personalized feedback and guidance on the various aspects of your public speaking. It helps you a lot when you are practicing for your speech. Audience analysis can be employed as well to help you in engagement throughout your speech. So we'll look at the PowerPoint speech coach, which will help you in preparing for your speech. All these points have got tools that I want to share. So for content generation, we've got Chat GPT and Bard AI. That's Google's AI tool. For transcription, we've got Alta Rev AI. For language assistance, we've got Grammarly. Pro Writing Aid. And then for speech analysis, we've got IBM Watson. And then for virtual speech coaches, we've got Ori and Umo. And finally, for audience analysis, we've got Affectiva. So I'm a user of Chat GPT, and I've used Grammarly extensively. And then I think it's the Azure Cognitive Services that I've used for creating lab activities. So most of these tools are tools that are available. For virtual speech coach, I'll use the PowerPoint speech coach, not Ori or Umo. So there are other tools that are available. If you want to use any of the tools, some of them are free, some of them are paid, so that you can also benefit from creating and crafting a rich speech that people can benefit from that particular speech. So I think, as I said, this session will be more of a practical session. So I'm going to go into using Chat GPT, moving this, creating prompts for Chat GPT, moving it into Word, and then moving it into PowerPoint to enable us look at it from using the tools, because these tools are tools that are available to us. Chat GPT 3 is available to every one of us. Word, we all have. PowerPoint, we all have. How do we use these three tools to enable us create a speech, put the speech in a slide deck, and then put it on PowerPoint and make it available for a presentation? So for this, let's say we've got a speech coming up, and we want to get a speech for risk, or to deliver a speech to a team of financial consultants who want to know more about AI and Chat GPT and the various cutting edge tools. So let's say there are prompts that we use, or it's asking Chat GPT a set of questions for it to produce the outcome that we want. So let's say generate a speech for a town hall event for a financial company on AI as a catalyst to our transformation. So we can put it in inverted commas. So generate a speech for a town hall event for a financial company on AI as a catalyst to our financial transformation. Speech is 10 minutes and add a story of eagle transformation to inspire the audience. So ChatGPT will go away looking at the various key things. But what I'm keen on is every speech should have a clear structure, an introduction, the body. The body should have at least 3 key points that the audience can take away, and then it should have a strong conclusion. So we can see that ChatGPT is spending some time to create a speech. It creates the speech. We can then look at it and say, okay, as you've done the speech for us, on a day a strong gust wind comes along, shaking the nest and causing one of the branches, the eagle finds itself tethering on the edge, facing with no choice. Summoning his courage, the eagle spreads its wing and takes that leap. And as it plunges into that beast, so it's giving us a story that we can see. Artificial intelligence is like the wind. The eagle has the power to propel us forward on our current limitation. It offers us the opportunity to soar above the competition. So yeah, we've got a story in there. So you could set insert 3 action points for the audience to commit themselves for the transformation. So it will still pick the existing speech and then say, okay, if we are going to insert 3 points, these are the 3 key points. Yeah. So with these 3 key points, we can then ask Chat GPT to make it a single speech. So generate a single speech with the above and the 3 points. See, so it's going to look at the what's above, and then with the 3 points is going to generate a single speech for us, so we can incorporate it and now have the time to say, okay, now that we've got all these 3 points incorporated into the speech, let's see, is it going to be a PowerPoint presentation? Is it going to be something that we will deliver this way? If we want to make it a PowerPoint presentation, we can ask ChatGPT to help us organize this into a PowerPoint. So I want to have a PowerPoint. So let's say organize into a PowerPoint with 6, let me make it 5 slides just for time, with 5 slide decks. Okay, so then I'll say remove placeholders and craft the points into the PowerPoint decks. So the placeholders are recap the main points, visual. So it's going to create it so that we have the key things that we want to put onto the PowerPoint. Yeah. So I can then look through it and say, okay, what else is it missing? Is there something that is missing? I've got my visual representation of a soaring eagle, call to action. So I think this is okay for me to start the work. This would have taken me a few hours for me to come up with the idea, organize it, and put it into the various PowerPoint slide decks. So what I'm going to do now is, now that I've got a structure, I'm going to then copy it onto Word. If you are going to be using Word for this, Microsoft 365 Word is much preferable because it incorporates a built-in PowerPoint, which allows you to generate images much easily when you are working on the slide decks. So I'll take a look at it. I'm happy with what I've got for now. I can always come back and make the changes. So I'll copy everything, and then go onto Word. So what I will do would be, I'm using my Word 365, so I'll come onto my Word 365 and so you could just come up to Microsoft Word. So you could click on the side. I've got Microsoft Word. I want a blank document. Oh, what happens every day when Microsoft itself is experiencing technical difficulties? Be careful when you are doing that, because Microsoft can be also experiencing. So it's good the technical difficulties have been dealt with. We've got the slide deck ready in Word. I'll go through them, review them, and say, okay, this is ready to go. So I would like to export this into PowerPoint so that I can start making the necessary changes to it. It says save as. So what we can see here is file, share about, download a copy. No, really, I can see Word is really experiencing. So if you're having difficulties with Word, what you could always come back to, so we can see the export function. So I can go out of the current Word and then use the Word on my computer. So I've gone out of Word. I'm going to use the Word on my computer, and it would have been much faster if I'd got the Word on 365. So I've got Word and I'm going to export it. So I've got file, export. So it's the export function we are looking for. It says create it into PDF, create it into, save as this function. So what we are looking for is for Microsoft Word to export into PowerPoint. But as we saw earlier, Microsoft is experiencing technical difficulties, so Word is not functioning the way we wanted. So you would have come here, and in the tab here, you'll find export. It should export from this into PowerPoint to enable you get it into PowerPoint and then start using PowerPoint. So alternatively, what I'm going to do, as Word is having some difficulties, is I'm going to go straight into PowerPoint, put the slide deck in, and then from there, work from there. So we've got a blank document, which is going to take longer, but I'll just do 2 slides and then we will continue with our presentation. So always be prepared for hiccups like this and have a way to work around the hiccups. If Word is not functioning properly, you can always come back. So I'll create 2 slides. Let me go back to my PowerPoint. So these are some of the ones I created earlier using Word, transforming it directly here. But I would like to do something new so that we all can benefit from it. So let me go to File, New. I've got this. What I'm going to do is, okay, I've automatically got something to start with. I'll enter all the things I want to do. Then I'll go into new slide, pick a blank, put the slide deck in. It's going to start giving me options. But if Word worked the way we wanted it earlier, it would have given us a slide deck which will be much faster than the approach I am using. Then you could use your themes, your design, and your designer palette, start looking at it and making creating new looks for it. So there is another approach where we could use the VBA to copy it, to create a VBA script and then copy it from VBA, insert it into PowerPoint, and then that also works. The easiest I always use is creating it from Word and then taking it into PowerPoint. Then the alternative is to use one that it's a paid for, which is called Tome. So Tome is also another one that you can use to create a presentation. So generate a PowerPoint presentation. Tome is an alternative, but it's a paid for alternative to use. So it's not one that I want to promote myself. Okay, if we could, let's use the free version. Continue with Google. I'll use my email address and sign in. Next, workspace name Arabic. Continue. Basic. Continue. Okay, so let's say you can use Tome as well, but that is a paid for version, which so Tome can help you as well in creating PowerPoint slides, and you can insert a set of for the upgrade version. You can let's go to create. Let's create one first. Title: create a speech, create a PowerPoint present. What would you like to do? Create a presentation on AI. So it's generating an outline for you, and then you have it. So it's created all the PowerPoint slides, and then to create the page, it will create the images. And the downside about Tome is, I think the paid for version is what you can have. So the rise of AI and future technology, presentation created, the future of AI, it's generated one for you. What is AI? AI applications. So it's created one for you. Tome is a good one. I know some people going into interviews have used it, and you can add more to it as you go along. So you can add various images to it. Would I recommend Tome? It's been used by a couple of people I know preparing for interviews. So Tome is a good tool you can use, even though it's one that I have not shared. It's one that I know and seen people use. It's just created a fast one for me when Microsoft Word is not working for me. So there are other tools like Tome. Okay. So if it does work, it will export it. It will give you themes. You would use the themes to create the various slides. And then from there, you can then work on your various slides. So I would have had, let's say, if I had this, it will come the Eagles transformation. Even with this, I think it's still not a bad approach. You could always take a look at it and then come and copy the items one by one if PowerPoint is not working. And why? Oh, just a little, just this 3. No. So you copy, paste, and then what PowerPoint Designer can help you with is PowerPoint Designer can help you. It's got me an eagle. It's got me a few others. I can always look at them. So it's going to help me shape the slides far faster than previously. But I think I like the eagle. So all I'll do is I'll just spend some time removing the slide, cleaning it up and making it ready. Then I'll go through the process of doing it one by one, which is a bit tedious from what I've had to do previously, where PowerPoint is generated automatically for you. So then I can come back again, go to Chat GPT. Where is my next one? Benefits of AI in the financial industry. Let me see what it will create for me. I'll come in, put this here, copy, put it as Word. Benefits of AI in the financial industry. Go to my designer, ask the designer to look at it. Well, I think even though it's giving me the long approach, I'm still able to get something good out of it. So I can then put AI in fintech. So you could add your subtitle, delete it. And if you were to play this, you just go through the process of taking a look at it this way. This is taking me a shorter time compared to me trying to work through all the slides. Benefits of AI in the financial industry. Improved customer experience, advanced risk management and compliance. And then you can add more and more slides to it. But if Word fails, there are so many alternatives. You've seen it fail, and I've gone through Tom. I've done the manual part, and you could also spend time just copying and pasting each and every slide. But if I look at the whole process, what I have done is much shorter than previously, where I'll do the research, bring the content together, break the content down, craft them in such a way that they support what I intend to talk about, and then from there translate them into PowerPoint. Bearing in mind as well that I've already got a speech that will go with this, and I can always share it with my audience. I'll share now. I'm using Word. I know it's now working, but I don't want to. You see, export to PowerPoint presentation preview. Then it allows you to select more designs. It's worked on all the others. I don't know what's. Then let me say I pick this because it's got some technology view, and then it starts preparing the slides, summarizing the contents, puts it through. Then you've got your presentation created. It creates it this way. Then you spend some time refining it and making it look good. But if you don't have much words on it, it just makes it much crisp and sharp. So I can look at it and say slide deck 2, welcome, visual presentation, introduction to the story of Eagles. This is an overview. This is slide 2. I'll copy slide 3 from it. Then I'll go for an empty slide. If you don't like the theme, you could always change the theme, and you could always make a lot of changes if you want to. You could add a new slide, title only. Then when you add it, it will help you create. It's much faster than what you would have spent a lot of time doing. So slide 3, I take slide 3 off and I'm done. So thank you all for joining today. Technology also has its comebacks. It's definitely done one on me this afternoon. But above all, I can see that in less than an hour, I've been able to create a speech. I've got the speech with a lot of generated prompts. I've got something ready. I've got a slide deck. I can do it manually, or I can use the Word approach to get it into PowerPoint. Or I can say generate VBA code for PowerPoint. But it's one that I don't like using quite a lot, because when it's generating the VBA code for PowerPoint, it makes it there's a lot of errors and issues in the slide, and you take a longer time to get it into the PowerPoint. So I don't like using the VBA code for it. I need to insert it into another tool and refine it. The easiest is using the PowerPoint. So I've got the speech, I've got it in slide deck, I'm ready to deliver. I think this is much easier when preparing for a speech. So these are some of the examples using Chat Chat GPT through Word into PowerPoint, it makes your stuff look very crisp and nice, and it generates even the images for you. To avoid plagiarism, we always must make sure that you acknowledge the source of your content. So you could put under its source Chat GPT. But if you also want to avoid plagiarism, there is another tool called AI text classifier. That's the tool. So when you put your speech into this, it will tell you whether it's AI generated. And if it's AI generated, then you have to spend some time to make it work. But another way to avoid plagiarism that you can do is to tell it to write the speech in a much more simple and general English. So I'll say AI for, yes, or ask AI to do the references. So I could say generate speech in a simple, accessible language for all audience. So it will generate the speech in a much more simple and much connected without all the big buzzwords. And then when you put it in the AI text classifier, it doesn't identify it as a speech which has borrowed a lot of content from other people, because it's brought it to a much lower all audience accessibility level. Yeah. So thank you, folks. It's been a real pleasure having you today, and thanks for joining the session.